Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We Are Takoma. I'm your host, Akili Brown, and I'm joining you from the Takoma Park Community Center for another installment of Community Conversation. Today's very important topic is youth success. So, without further ado, let's go inside and learn more about some of the programs and services that the city has to offer our youth. Hello, everyone, and I am now speaking with the wonderful, honorable Mayor Kate Stewart. And I wanted to ask you about, in regards to today's community conversation, what was the, ambition or the goal of today's youth success community conversation?
The goal of today's community conversation on youth success was really to get members of the community together, young and the not so young, to talk about what are the services and programs that we can providing to young people in our community. I think the youth and older members of our community are responding really well. The planning for this community conversation involved 6 young people who helped us from the very beginning when we were planning it. We had weekly meetings that they attended, and so I really feel like we're starting to model the behavior that we need to really address the needs of young people in the community by listening to what they need and building on their recommendations. We're finding that not just with our youth programs, but with many of our programs, that we need to get out more into the community, connect with people so that they know what services are available. And then we need to listen to find out what's missing. What aren't we doing that people really need?
I am now speaking with Karen Pittman, who is the founder and CEO on the Forum for Youth Investment. And I was asking her a little bit about how she became involved with today's community conversation for youth success. Could you tell us how this came about?
Sure. Well, the way I became involved in this particular event was that I was invited. First invited, got the general invitation to come, and then also invited to speak and give a few words. I've lived here in Takoma Park for 35 years, and my children are long grown, so I'm not actively involved in the Recreation Department and Youth Services anymore because my children are 30 to 40 years old. But our work professionally is that we do this work around the country. We work with communities that are really trying to think about what they can do as a community to ensure youth success. So I was happy to come and share. We work with community leaders across the country at the state and local level to make sure that they come together and bring together all the resources in communities to make sure young people are ready for college, work, and life. A lot of what we do is to really help communities understand a couple of things. One, what does it really mean for young people to be ready? So that really means more than just a high school diploma or not using drugs, the kind of data that communities often track to see if their young people are ready. But those things aren't all that it takes to be successful. And so we help them really articulate and think about and listen to young people about the other kinds of skills and experiences they need to have to be successful.
Okay, so like the leaders of our community, the doors are open and we can communicate to them. They'll be like, okay, they could come talk to me if they like need anything, but we wouldn't know that. So like both sides knowing that the door is open, and knowing that home life does affect everyday life. So what's going on at home may affect the child or the youth not being able to come and participate, taking that all into consideration and addressing it.
Hey Akili, what are you doing? Taking a selfie with the trash?
Basically, I'm taking a picture of the trash so I can send it with the app.
The app?
Yeah, my TKPK, the Takoma Park mobile app.
My TKPK.
Basically, the app allows you to make a request or send a report to the city for any type of maintenance or, in this case, cleaning up trash. Here, let me show you. I'll take a picture, send it with the app, and like that. Now the city can come and clean it up.
Then can I report the street light in front of my house? It has been out for several weeks.
Of course. You can also go to the city's website, tacomaparkmd.gov/mytkpk.
Hello, Tony. Could you come over? I need some help with my computer.
Sure, I'll be right there.
Great, thank you.
Fred, how are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for coming, Tony.
What seems to be the problem?
I'm trying to schedule an appointment to go shopping tomorrow morning. The information is on my computer and I can't get it to turn on. Can you help me?
You know, I have the number for Village of Takoma Park. I can call for you if you want.
That would be great. Thank you.
When do you want to schedule?
For tomorrow morning, about 11 o'clock.
Hello. Yep. I would like to schedule a ride for Fred Parks for tomorrow at 11. Correct. Thank you. Jack Wells will be here tomorrow at 11.
Oh, Jack. Great. Thank you, Tony.
Tony and Fred are members of a village. Tony's special expertise is computers. He helps his neighbors whenever he can. Once in a while, neighbors may need help like Fred when he wanted to set up a ride. In addition to computer help, the Village of Takoma Park volunteers can help in other ways. Call to volunteer or to find out more.
I am now speaking with Kate and Anka of Education First, and they were going to tell me a little bit about how the program works.
Sure. So we are an international language school, and we are located over on Laurel Street, and we teach English only to international students who come from all over the world, anywhere from 2 weeks to a year to learn English with our school.
And what is the process as far as students coming into the program and I guess having a successful run?
So basically our students sign up in their home country with our offices abroad, and then we help them with visa, with any administrative procedures that they would need help with. And then they take a plane, they come to DC, we pick them up, we drop them off at their host families or at the school, and we teach them English until they know English better. That's what we do.
I would say the youngest we have right now is 12, and there is no maximum. So we actually had a 70-year-old Japanese woman last summer. We've had a couple, I think now that are about 50 from China.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the basic requirement is you don't speak English.
And you want to improve.
Yeah.
So it really depends. Yeah.
Going to meet them exactly where they are. Sometimes we know that our kids can't always come to us. As Fatima said earlier, some of her friends didn't come because of transportation issues. Well, then there are times that we actually have to pick up and go to them, to be able to reach them and service them, to help them.
The city has voting for 16, 17-year-olds, but maybe they're, and that way if they're voting, they can use their voice to help shape policy, but there could be other great ideas that the youth have.
We at the Hispanic Teens Foundation, we work to assure community has workforce development sources to become more independent. So we focus on youth. Our main youth program is the Partnership Youth Initiative, and the Partnership Youth Initiative is delivered for high school students who are willing to pursue further career, and I are struggling to finish the high school because of money concerns. Find them internship in many places. One is here in Takoma Park TV, and they have up to 150 hours of internship, paid internship, where they find ways to learn skills, responsibility, developing relationships with the staff, and at the same time earn money to help their studies and obtain their diploma. We work from 16 to 21-year-old. Sometimes we allow younger, like 14-year-old, depend on the program, but our focus is on from 16 to 21-year-old.
I think 3 areas that I think we could do much more to improve youth success if we start to actually get the young people's voices in the decisions that are impacting them. So youth civic engagement, I think we all think about, but also in schools and in the juvenile justice system, thinking about those adverse childhood experiences and asking what happened to you. And then finally in the juvenile justice system, asking what do you need and why did this happen rather than what did you do. And so keeping them out as much as possible and in the community and services.
We said social media, like through organization, like for example, Man Up, like when we want to put the word out, we usually do cookouts, like have everybody coming, having everybody like eat food and, Exactly. So that's the reaction we get when you say food and like school, and then like everybody come out and like support. And we also talked about like support from like parents, like having like parents get involved and like come in and like get the kids to like come out and like talk about how we can make the community and like life better.
So, and I just want to mention that it's interesting, but we're talking about reaching kids both through social media and also through this, the old-fashioned route of cookouts and food, bring food. Yeah, right, exactly, right. So that was another thing that we talked about.
I'm excited about Takoma Park doing these conversations. I was part of the housing conversation, and I thought that was fabulous and really excited about this whole series. I don't know if these guys did, because this was the first one I brought them to because it was about youth, and I thought that it would be good for them to have a chance to have their participate in the conversation too. How about you guys?
Yeah, what did you guys think?
I really liked the lunch and learn. I think that was a good idea.
I wasn't expecting it to be like as interactive, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was more interactive.
I'm now speaking with Aaron of the Takoma Park Silver Spring Co-op, and I was curious, Aaron, what are some of the ways that the co-op is giving back to the teens in our community?
That's a great question. So one of the programs we have at the co-op, it's called the Pay It Forward program, and this essentially is just a way for people that are in a place in life that they can give back to the community. So we have at the very front of our store, it's a sign that says Pay It Forward, and to break it down, you grab a card of something that you want to donate to a family, and most of the time it goes to teens and youth and their adolescents, and they have different grocery items. You bring it to the cashier, then we bring the food to local food banks, and at those food banks we also give healthy living tips and provide them with healthful food options. So we're giving back in the way that we can and providing our outreach services as states in our mission statement is providing a place for community through healthful living. And as a cooperative, it's all about community effort. That's really what it breaks down to, is everybody taking their place and pulling the weight as a community to make this place a better space for everybody to flourish and live in.
Grandma, she's here! Grandma!
Okay, I'm ready. Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm here to pick up Mrs. Johnson.
Hey, Mrs. Wells, she's ready.
Mrs. Wells, thanks for coming. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you called the village at Takoma Park. Okay, let's go.
The Volunteer Ride Program is one of the services offered to seniors who cannot drive themselves and who are members of the village of Takoma Park. The request for driving can be for doctor's visits, for shopping trips, or for social events. Regional rides are provided as long as volunteer drivers are available.
Got it.
Still, Jen, it's your mom. And where are you? The power's off. I need you.
It is important to connect with neighbors, particularly for seniors who live alone.
Mrs. Sanders, how are you?
It's dark in here.
We brought some food for you.
Oh, that's so nice.
Kurt and I were worried about you.
Befriend your neighbor before an emergency occurs. A message from the Takoma Park Emergency Preparedness Committee.
I'm here speaking with Freddie of TeenWorks, and he was going to tell me a little bit about how TeenWorks works and how teens can get involved.
Okay, Teamworks is a program we have at the Montgomery County Rec Department. We have a variety of programs offering from kids to 16 to 24. So we have things called CJC, which is Conservation Job Corps, which helps kids as their first job and have some work experience. We also have a Rec Extra with this program that teachers work with kids, and Montgomery County also supplies for it. We have things called Rec Zone, which is a more high school approach for kids who don't want to be home, bored, or out in the streets. We help them out, and we hope that they come in and talk to other kids. It's not just the same, meet new people. And we have things called EBB also, which is more middle school, which is more people with me, like a green shirt. They work with the kids there, so it's like they do variety of programs such as sports, engineering, having them learn, teaching how to play an instrument and all that type of stuff.
And how long have you been a part of TeenWorks?
So far, this is my first year. I'm hoping to get on and continue on with them, and try to become a trainee with, try to improve and get better with them.
And what's that first year been like for you?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet new people, got to learn new stuff.
And as far as seasons go, is this a year-round program, or do you come and take a break like in the summer, or does it start in the summer? How does that work?
It depends on the program you're doing. Like Rec Zone, EBB, Rec Extra, they're all during the school year. But CJC, Food, Fun, and Fitness, which is another program we have, that's all during the summer job. If you do well during the summer and, they like the way you worked and all, that's when they start hiring during the school year. And, you can get more hours, have more fun, and do more events with them.
Now it's good, but as you were saying, you don't advertise it, you don't know about it unless you really search for it. It's something that, when I go out with my friends and talk to my friends about what I'm doing, they ask me how did you find it? How do you know that? And that's not something that they should ask. It's something that should know. They should know. And I think that's what we need, advertising it more, creating more opportunities, as in opportunities that you can, if you have a job, a place at your job, and you feel like somebody, a child or a kid can come in and help. You can be like, hey, there's this to do. And that's
what are the most pressing issues impacting youth in our area today. Again, a way to communicate needs and wants. That's the stress of the conversation. Having groups like Man Up for all age groups, because Brandon did say it was 6th grade and up, and then there was a age 19 to 24, so that's the older kids, but they should have one for younger kids as well. Mental health and support services more, because we do have some, but to have more of those. The youth council, advertise that more so that we can also be a part of that. Advertise through schools, because that's where we spend most of our time. And for the third question, it says, what gaps and needs exist in the services provided in the area? Someone said something about the fact that kids not participating because of money. So that they said that more funding for the camps or activities for the residents and such, more opportunities such as employment and internship opportunities, youth helping youth, and using youth to come in and help versus outside sources like tutors and stuff. Instead of going out, we can use us, because we can help too. I've done it before. And better advertising, again, that was an answer for every question, because yes, the sources can be there, yes, they can improve, but if no one knows about them, they're not going to use them.
If all the places young people spend their time are focused on building these skills, what we end up with is a young person who really has those abilities in a backpack that they can carry around with them. And that's really, for us, our definition of what youth success is. Not measured by how many degrees you got or how much money you make, but whether you really are ready to be both willing and be prepared for meeting life's challenges. Thank you. But most communities really have no sense of how many things they're offering, how many young people are participating in them, and whether you really have the same group of young people who are participating in lots of things and then a larger group that are participating in nothing. So it's really bringing some sort of data and systematic approach to really being accountable. If we think it's important for young people to have these opportunities, then we shouldn't leave it to chance about whether they have them.
One of the things that we talked about in a couple of our groups was there's several sort of larger structural issues, and so I think there's always this balancing act that the city of Takoma Park plays, the city being very progressive and very interested in addressing lots of these larger social justice issues, and this question about what are the pieces that the city can address, and part of what we talked about was school construction and the population size in the schools and the parts that are within Takoma Park's control, and then where we really need to organize and advocate with the county or with the state. And so I think there's some interesting conversations to be had there. And again, I'm excited the city's having the conversations.
Today is really also about partnerships, and I'm so glad to not only just have our panelists who are here, but also the community organizations and the county and other folks who are here with our city council, with our city staff, really working together. And so I think partnerships, we have the young people, we have the parents, and we just have to build on those partnerships more.
We came up with economic issues. So if they don't have, their parents have jobs and they can't feed them, and it's when they go to school, they have a hard time learning because they're hungry, and language, because of the language barrier, social pressures such as peer pressures, and family as well, cultural accumulation, sorry, and expectations of adults. So what the adults expect them of, resources, knowing where to get these resources from, parents being unaware. So like Fatumata said, parents, if we don't help them out, they're really unaware of what is going on. And if we're just going out, like Fatumata said, that when she's doing SSL hours, her parents are like, yeah. And that's how it was actually for me in the beginning, because my dad was really stressing on no, just focus on school, focus on school. But then when he started to go to different things and know that I really do need SSL hours, then he's like, okay, fine.
I go to Piney Branch Elementary School, and I really think they have this math program. I think they should do more programs kind of like that math program during the school. There's only a math program if you are in advanced math. If you're in 4th grade, they do 4th and 5th. But I think they should do something kind of like that with science and social studies.
I think right now what we need to do is listen and figure out what's the best way to get the word out. One of the things that we're doing, in addition to these community conversations, this is our second one. We had one on affordable housing back in February. Is we're holding Friday morning coffees. We're averaging about 2 per month, where we have coffee with members of the community. And I'm thinking we need to figure out how to do that with young people. And maybe it's an afternoon get-together or some other time that's more convenient for them when they're out of school, to really start listening to them and connecting with them.